Hello students, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Saroj Malik from the Department of Political Science. Today we are discussing module, definition and explanation of the terms feminism and feminists, women's movement in USA, UK, France and Soviet Union, theories of feminism, liberal feminism, in that Mary Wollstonecraft, J.S. Mill, in Radical Feminism, Simone de Beauvoir, Shula Smith, Firestone, Marxist Feminism, Frederick Engels, Maria Mies, in Socialist Feminism, Juliet Michel, Irish Young, and Postmodern Feminism. From paper, Feminism and Women's Movement, Objectives of the module. To have knowledge of the origin of feminism, theories of feminism, and ideology of some important feminist thinkers. Feminism and feminist. Feminism is a term commonly used, but at the same time it is troublesome, confusing, and difficult, which raises some doubts and questions, and above all, defies single explanation. The term feminism and feminist entered the English language in 1890s at the time of women's emancipation movement. Feminism is the ideology or theoretical commitment to the liberation movements. Feminist theory and politics is marked by intense internal debates and is generally recognized by now that it would be more accurate to talk about feminisms in the plural rather than one single feminism. Nevertheless, what all feminist positions share is a recognition that women are placed in an inferior position in society and that this hierarchy is based on gender. Feminism refers to political, cultural, and economic movements aimed at establishing greater rights and legal protections for women. It is the belief in the importance of gender equality, invalidating the idea of gender hierarchy as a socially constructed concept. Although this hierarchy is justified on grounds of natural differences between men and women. Feminists hold that it is in fact based on socio-cultural and economic power structures, which have little to do with biological differences between the sexes. Feminist is a person whose belief and behavior are based on feminism. Feminist activists have campaigned for women legal rights such as right of contract, property rights and voting rights, while also promoting women's right to bodily integrity and autonomy, abortion rights and reproductive rights. They have struggled to protect women and girls from domestic violence, sexual harassment, and rape. Women movement in USA. In the United States, Elizabeth Cady Stanton (1815 to 1902) and her lifelong friend Susan Anthony (1820 to 1906) raised the issue of women's freedom and equality as a result of experience in the anti-slavery movements. This debate was raised in a public setting in the famous American Seneca Falls Convention of 1848. A national women's suffrage association was set up after the Civil War, and women's suffrage was attained in the United States as a result of 19th Amendment to the Constitution in 1920. In USA, second-wave feminism began to protest that society have not delivered them independence, which was promised. They should be liberated from domesticity. Betty Friedan wrote "The Feminine Mystic", which was published in 1963. She felt that discrimination against women remained and it need to be actively fought. For this purpose, Now was founded in 1966. Women's movement in UK. Mary Wollstonecraft is rightly regarded as the first major feminist, and in her famous "Vindication of the Rights of Women", first published 1792, she argued for women economic independence and legal equality. She challenges the notion that repressive hierarchies are natural. She argued, if all are free and equal individuals, why can't women be equal to men? J.S. Mill wrote The Subjection of Women in 1869. He argued that women should enjoy equal rights with men, including the right to vote. In Britain, the suffragettes campaigned for the women vote, with Emmeline Pankhurst the leader of the movement. In 1918, the Representation of the People Act 1918 was passed, granting the vote to women over the age of 30 who owned houses. In 1928, this was extended to all women over 21. The Great Depression and war periods absorbed much of women's attention and energy. The issues that were fought over in this period were practical and immediate. Welfare concerns, namely ideas on family, endowments, adequate health care, school meals, and maternity benefits. All these welfare measures became part of regular policy in past 1949 Britain, at least until the 1980 women movement in France. The emphasis of French Revolution of 1789 was on liberty, equality, and fraternity, but women's position was mainly confined to domesticity and family. Simone de Beauvoir wrote "The Second Sex" in 1949. Its English translation was published in 1953. She argued that femininity and domesticity are not natural attributes of womanhood but artificial creation which limit freedom of women and deny them the expression on full humanity. She accepted Jean-Paul Sartre's precept, "Existence precedes essence." Hence, one is not born a woman but becomes one. Her analysis focuses on the social construction of women as the other. Women movement in Soviet Union. Before revolution in Tsarist Russia, there were two classes, landlords and poor peasants. Russian women under patriarchal domination. In 1918, women not only got voting right and can contest elections, but also got right to work and equal pay. Soviet Union became fifth country to get right to vote for women. After legal equality, next step was economic equality. This was essence of socialist revolution. In October 1927, the Second All-Union Congress of Women Workers and Peasants pointed out the rise in women's participation in all areas of socialist society as well as the growth in women's political consciousness. During the post-war years, as before, the goals and tasks of women movement in the USSR were inseparably linked to those of Soviet society. Alexandra Kollontai (1873 to 1952) extended Marxist framework in the context of Russian Revolution. She was the Minister of Social Welfare in the first Bolshevik government. Theories of feminism. There are various theories of feminism which are liberal feminism. It can be understood as equal right feminism or particularly first wave of women's movement. Throughout the 19th century, liberal feminism had developed often as an extension of other emancipatory movements. In this approach, the explanation for women's position in society is seen in terms of unequal rights or artificial barriers to women participation in the public world, beyond the family and household. In liberal feminism, there is also a concern with the value of individual autonomy, rationality, and liberty. It identifies with the motto "Equality First", which means freedom from unwarranted restrictions by others, public citizenship, and the attainment of equality with men in the public arena is central to liberal feminism. It involves an emphasis upon reform of society rather than revolutionary change. They asserted that women are not fundamentally different to men, and yet they are denied opportunities on the basis of their sex. It also draws on welfare liberalism and suggests some redistribution of benefits and opportunities. J.S. Mill, his period is from 1806 to 73. He was a British philosopher, influenced by his partner Harriet Taylor. He wrote The Subjection of Women in 1869 and argued that women should enjoy equal right with men, including right to vote. They are not inferior by nature and are rational beings. After marriage, women reach in the stage of slavery and treated as property, and they are conditioned like this in family. He argued that the family must become a school for learning values of freedom and independence. Radical feminism. It is essentially a theory of by and for women. They protest that liberal feminism is too artificial in its approach. Indeed, it gives a positive value to womanhood. Women are oppressed because of their sex, and sexual oppression is a fundamental form of oppression. Here, patriarchy is the key term. The notion of shared oppression is intimately connected with a strong emphasis on sisterhood of women. Any woman has more in common with any other women, regardless of class, race, age, ethnic group, nationality, than any woman has with any man. Such an agenda encourages some degree of separatism from men. Furthermore, this identification with women and rejection of male dominance involves both a critique of the existing organization of heterosexuality as prioritizing men and a recognition of lesbianism as a challenge to that priority. They describes Sexual oppression, a fundamental form of oppression and primary oppression of women. Men as a group are considered to be the beneficiary of this systematic form of power. It is also called as feminism of difference. Carol Hanisch coined this slogan, "The personal is political," advocates revolutionary model of social change. Radical feminist writers. Simone de Beauvoir, her period is from 1908 to 1986. She occupies a unique place among feminist theorists. Her major work, The Second Sex (1949), is already considered a classic study of women's condition. She found that man put himself as subject and women as object as the other. She linked the history of women to that of inheritance because it seemed to her to be a byproduct of the economic evaluation of the masculine world. Existentialism determines the conceptual framework of the second sex. She mentions one is not born but rather becomes a woman. No biological, psychological, or economic fate determines the figure that the human female presents in society. It is the civilization as a whole that produces this creature, intermediate between male and eunuch, which described as feminine. Her analysis focused on the social construction of women as the other. Her own life was a decisive rejection of the traditional female role, refusing domestic responsibility. She lived much like men in the male world of French intelligentsia. She was friendly with Jean-Paul Sartre. In her book, she assembled philosophical, psychological, anthropological, historical, literary, and collected evidence to argue that femininity and domesticity are not natural attributes of womanhood but artificial creation which limit freedom of women and deny them the expression of full humanity. State as manifestation of man's political power, reflecting other deeper structures of oppression. Male power cannot be reduced to economics, but it is embedded in family, in reproduction, in sexuality, or the language we use. The task is to expose the process in which femininity is manufactured and to show women living differently. Shula Smith Firestone, born in 1945 in Ottawa, grew up in Saint Louis and then moved to New York City in 1967. Her book, The Dialectic of Sex: The Case of Feminist Revolution, was published in 1970 and acquired the reputation of being the most articulate expression of the radical feminist position. In the book, there is a theoretical attempt to present the basic class division and oppression of society as a sexual one. Her book triggered off an important debate on artificial reproduction, both within and outside the feminist movement. Radical feminists believe that science and technology can be used positively to reorganize and eventually to eliminate natural reproduction. She forcefully asserts the biological basis of women's inferiority. She states radical feminism is the first feminine movement which connects effectively the personal with the political. Her objective is to correlate the best of Engels and Marx. A remedial strategy is revolutionary but simple. Abolition of the family will end repressions, that mold sexuality into narrow and rigid formations. She analyzed the powerlessness of women chiefly in psychological terms. Another theory of feminism is Marxist feminism. Central to all Marxist feminists is the belief that women's subordination is not permanent and natural, but historically specific product of class society. Marx claimed to provide a comprehensive analysis of human history and society. Family and sexual relationships are other forms of social organization, the product of particular stage of economic development. They cannot be altered at will. It can be changed or ended with socio-economic change. In Marxist feminism, hierarchical class relations are seen as the source of coercive power and oppression of all inequalities. Ultimately, sexual oppression is seen as a dimension of class power. They accept some version of what is called the base superstructure model of society. That is, social relations, including those related to sexual inequality, are conceived as crucially shaped by the economic base of society rather than by ideas and attitudes. Friedrich Engels. Engels, in his famous work The Origin of Family, Private Property, and the State, was published in 1894. He argued that in early tribal societies, men, women, and children lived together as a part of larger households in which production was for use rather than exchange. The subordination of women occurs when men begin to domesticate animals and breed herds. Women seek monogamous relation in marriage and a family is privatized. Later, bourgeois family, the women's formal right to consent to marriage is neutralized by her lack of economic independence. Male domination would only disappear with socialization of production. In Angels, there is added dimension of materialistic conception of history and the placing of the human essence into labor. The central contention was that the oppression of women was rooted in the impersonal logic of capitalism and private property. Maria Miles. She is a German scholar, feminist, and activist who lived in Cologne. She is author of numerous groundbreaking works on women and globalization. Her classic work is Patriarchy and Accumulation on a World Scale, written in 1986. It was the product of the struggle of women's autonomous organizations who developed in their struggle both an autonomous style, Marxism, and a conception of capitalist exploitation as a subset, a special case of a more general kind of exploitation inherently involved with patriarchal society. Miles' patriarchy is to be found in the social relations of production themselves, and is perhaps the single most important and sharper of these relations. It is therefore not just a form of oppression, but in the full sense a form of exploitation of women's labor and exploitation of women's bodies. She worked for many years in India. In 1979, she established the Women and Development Program at the Institute of Social Studies in The Hague, Netherlands. She continues to be active in the women and other social movements. Recently, she also wrote a book, Ecofeminism, along with Vandana Shiva. In the book, the authors offers a critique of prevailing economic theories, conventional concepts of women's emancipation, the myth of catching up development, the philosophical foundation of modern science and technology, and the omission of ethics. Another variant of feminism is socialist feminism. Socialist feminism arose out of the belief that feminism is not simply a legal and political question. Though socialists do support the case for the legal and political emancipation of women, socialists take the view that women's emancipation is also and primarily a social question, so that the movement for women's freedom needs to be linked with the struggle to transform capitalism itself. In brief, there are three major socialist feminist traditions, may be described as deriving from debates between radical and Marxist feminists. The first trend involves a concern with the social construction of sex, that is gender, which was largely seen in terms of Freudian psychoanalysis. Hence, the first trend termed a dual system model of social analysis, that is, patriarchy and capitalism. The second strand describes a unified system, sometimes referred to as capitalist patriarchy. The third strand is known as dynamic duo approach of Heidi Hartman, in which sexual and class oppression interact but are not cast as independent forms. Juliet Michel. She is a socialist feminist writer born in New Zealand in 1940. She came to England in 1944. Her book Women's Estate was published in 1971. Her another publication, Psychoanalysis and Feminism, appeared in 1974. She compares the dependence of women on men with that of the workers on the capitalists and finds women an oppressed minority. She argued that traditional socialism is in error, is exaggerating the role of private property in subjugating women. To understand the continuous oppression of women in the past and the present, she treats women as a feminist problem but seeks Marxist answers. She mentioned women's life is governed by women's conditions, that is, production, reproduction, sexuality, and socialization of children. She asserts not biology but culture is at the root of women's degradation. A cultural revolution is necessary for a specific struggle against patriarchy. In such a battle, women must maintain their autonomy. Michel analysis is refreshingly multidimensional as compared with one-dimensional rhetoric of most of the middle-of-the-run feminist writers. Iris Young. She is a political activist and feminist academic who has written on democratic theory, feminist social theory, female bodily experience, and the politics of difference. Her philosophy differs from liberal tradition of J.S. Mill and post-Enlightenment tradition of German philosophy in raising questions about oppression and domination. Her vision of a good society is differentiated, culturally plural, network of contemporary urban life. Her goal is principle of group representation in democratic public among with the group differentiated policies. She proposes an ideal of urban life nurturing diversity and cooperation in providing services conceived, distributed, and administered justly. Postmodern feminism. Feminist writings, influenced by postmodern thinking, stress plurality rather than unity, and in particular reject conceptions of women as a homogeneous category. The emphasis is here upon difference both within and between subjects and relatedly the diversity of forms of power. Postmodern feminists assert that universalizing principles are not innocent. These are viewed as intimately connected with domination and the subordination and censorship of what that which does not conform. They concentrate upon destabilizing the manifold operations of power rather than mobilizing political struggle around identities like women, gay, or black. Postmodernism is identified with the rejection of the notion of foundational truth or essence in favor of recognition that meaning is not eternal or impartial but constructed through exclusion and repression. It lies precisely in the antagonism to singular structural explanation and the attraction to considering multiple determinants to diversity, plurality, and indeterminacy. They question the idea of a central explanatory foundation or coherent care to human sociality, a notion which is perceived to be critical to the project of modernity and instead focus on the constructed fragility of subjectivity, that is, its internal fragmentation as well as its diverse forms. In nutshell, the theories of feminism, like liberal feminism, two thinkers included in that: Mary Wollstonecraft, J.S. Mill. In radical feminism, Simone de Beauvoir, Shula Smith Firestone. In Marxist feminism, Frederick Engel and Maria Miles. In socialist feminism, Juliet Michel and Iris Young. In postmodern feminism, Helen Sixes, Luce Irigaray, Julia Kristeva. So students, let's summarize what we have learned in this module. Feminism is the ideology or theoretical commitment to the women's liberation movement. It refers to political, cultural, and economic movements aimed at establishing greater rights and legal protection for women. Feminist is a person whose belief and behavior are based on feminism. Feminist theory is the extension of feminism into theoretical or philosophical discourse. It aims to understand the nature of gender inequality. There are various theories of feminism like liberal, radical, Marxist, and socialist and postmodern feminism. It stresses on post-plurality rather than unity.